I think they ran this certain team comp because they were expecting to be able to play Ruins, and then hopefully they could get this map where they could actually play Widow. But I feel like it would have been better to just run Seagull. I guess they do just like what they did against FaZe in the finals of Contender Season 1, where they run Seagull, and then what did they run? They ran Seagull. I can't remember if they ran Coco or Mickey. I can't exactly remember, but I think they ran like Seagull in place of Mickey or Seagull with Mickey, and then they would have someone. They would have Mickey basically be the mega flex. So like if they wanted to run Orisa, he would run it. They would run Orisa Hog, and then Taima would play Hog, and then Seagull would actually be able to play Pharah. Because on this team they don't really have a Pharah player, and they need Seagull in the lineup to actually play Pharah. Where Fleta can basically do all of what Taimu can do and Seagull can do, so it just makes him so much more dynamic inside these maps where Ruins you need a Widow player basically because like Widow's used so often. But you also want to be able to run Pharah on Lighthouse and then well yeah, Lighthouse is like the most dominant Pharah map, so you just don't get that with this Dallas Fuel lineup, so it's pretty hard I imagine to actually like pick a lineup, but I would have rather had Seagull in these games at least, so they can actually match the Pharah play. Because I think Dallas is so used to actually just playing like Widow into Pharahs and then expecting time to just headshot them out of the air. Because he would never get pressured in NA. And if he's just not landing his shots, then there's not a lot they can do. I would have maybe had Taimu play McCree here more than anything. If the Widow isn't working, he can actually play McCree. But you can watch Fleta here. He plays like a really counter Widow style where he knows where the Widow's going to set up, and you can see him flank here on his own. He knows where the Widow's going to be. Or he just flanks him and actually just sets up behind him. That barrage was really bad though. It was like an awesome spot to sit though, actually, to counter him. Seoul was just playing super safe. Like they had like one or two tanks like in the point. Everyone else was just chilling. He's just playing safe here, making sure people are in his aura, trying to not get too pressured himself. Hey, what's up, man? They pop the Valk early, and they just run at Taimu. You can see Taimu is just getting pressured by this Pharah all day. Seoul just wanted to put bodies on the point. It's harder for Taimu to actually like contest the point with the Widow if they're just hiding inside the point. Seoul just like they rush the Widow, so the Widow no longer has like the advantage with the sightlines, and then you actually just pressure the body where they just like had to keep rezzing him, and then you just put everyone else on the point so he can't get sniped. And then anyone from Dallas who comes onto the point is just gonna get hit with for rockets. I think Dallas really wanted ruins. They can't run Pharah. It's because they don't have anyone to play Pharah really on this team, and it's kind of a plague for them. So like Effect is playing McCree, which is actually good on this map. But retaking a point with an Orisa is actually really difficult. You have to get like really great shield value and just be able to pressure their monkey. Like they have an okay setup right here. Like it's actually pretty good, but Fled is able to actually just shotgun them with rockets. Like if Effect ever gets killed, then it's really easy for Fleta. So he just shotguns them all day long. There's no other person on Dallas to actually pressure him, so he gets to do what he wants. I'm not sure Dallas can really do much either. The people playing are just too one-dimensional. I think maybe you switch Mickey to Diva, but then you lose the pressure of the Orisa Hog, so there's not a lot they can do. They can't match Pharah's. I think they adapt after this push and actually move towards right side to give the Orisa better sightlines. But if you take too much poke in the choke, then Fleta just gets to build another barrage and it actually hits you up in there. Like these pushes are just so slow into the choke. Tama really isn't really able to do anything. Like he hits like the one grenade on the ulting Pharah, but then after that, like they aren't really able to move in. I don't think Mickey has that much playtime on Hog either, which is like an actual bad sign, I think. So they kept going main with this Orisa comp, and I really think I wanted to see them go to the side. Ideally, you want to have like the shield actually on the point or near the mill itself, but you want to walk over here and not give her as much splash damage and hope you can actually 1v1 her when she's shotgunning you, but if you can't, then you're just going to lose the map. Toby just pops off here at the end. Not a lot Dallas can even do at this point. They just have to stagger in. That map was probably the most dominant. Just because they weren't really able to swap at all any of their compositions. It's too one-dimensional.